least in Canada Business School, students typically do get scholarships. I have heard like out of 40 students, at least 20 in supply chain department must have received scholarship. They range from $1,000 to $5,000. So, I mean, Canada supports when it comes to scholarships. I would say it is a good experience rather than good resource. There are a lot less opportunities when it comes to career fairs, but you get the opportunity to talk with people and see how you fit their needs. And I would say that networking was one of the key outcomes that I've learned through career fairs. It takes a lot of patience to wait for 30 minutes or 45 minutes in a line. But once you get a chance, I think you get to explore more with them and learn how you can be a part for them. So even I got just one call from career fair. So international students don't receive much outcomes through career fairs. First opportunity would be through CCO, that is Purdue has a career counseling session which is called My CCO. So through that, in the orientation itself, they cover all the portals through which they can apply jobs. This CCO is different from several portals which are there. This is like managed by Purdue. So through CCO, people can apply jobs. I have also got some interviews when I applied through CCO. Apart from that, for me, what has worked is online application. So I did apply a lot online in August and September, even during the career fair. Apart from talking with them throughout the day, I used to come at night and apply a lot online. So for me, online application has worked, but for other students, like networking through LinkedIn or getting in touch with alums has worked. There can be two types of interviews. Major in first type, the first round is behavioral interview, and then we have the technical interview. So CCO is again a good resource. They give you a handbook where typically they cover almost all the questions that you get asked in behavioral interviews. It would be like, why this field, and what would you have done if you were there in this situation, and all those things. And when it comes to technical interviews, they have coding assignments as well. And for non-technical roles like procurement, sourcing, and supply chain, we have interviews based on what we did in our past work experience, or what we have learned in courses and also. This could be one track of interview. The second track of interview, which I learned after coming here, is case interviews. Consulting companies come here and they conduct case interviews. So they give you one case and they ask you questions on that case. And this was a very different interview which I had, and it did not went for me well because it was the first time that I was giving. So it would be great if students can learn case interviews back in India itself and then come here and they can prepare very fast. So for us, this year was challenging. We have had 40 students total, and I would say 8 or 9 of them have got internships right now. And aside of 8-9, there were about 3 to 4 internships which got cancelled. The ratio has always been challenging. Even last year, it was very challenging as well. So typically, I would say 20 to 22% students get internship. And this is not only in supply chain field. We have MBA for that matter, and marketing, etc. Other courses where the internships ratios is not that great. So this year has been specifically challenging for all the departments, including MBA, which is very well known in US. So they are great in, getting your resume right and writing cover letters and all those things. They give you a good strategies in application stuff, but I would say they can be a much better when it comes to, inviting companies who hire internationals during career fair. They do conduct their, Granite Business School has their own career fair, apart from the industrial roundtable, which is open for all the students. Typically, all these happen in September. Typically, it should be on an average $22 to $25 an hour. And if the company is open to relocation and all, they give you on an average $2,000 or $1,000 for relocation and other purposes. It would be like business analyst, supply chain operations analyst, quality management, business improvement, etc. I mean, it's a very debatable answer because it depends a lot on companies to companies. I mean, for the company that I'll be interning this summer, the ratio is not very good, at least for the department that I'm interning. In the past 3 years, they have had about 20 interns and they have hired only three or converted to full time only three. So, for my company, it is very difficult. But when you go to other companies like Amazon and other big e-commerce giants, there is 50% chance of you getting converted. I would say typically on an average it should be 35 to 40% chance of converting it to full time. They happen in the same event. So before companies come, the application portal has all the details like for which roles they are hiring, what nationalities are they looking, what locations are they looking for, and whether they are looking for internship or full time. So you can filter out all these details and get a list of companies that hiring for the roles that you are looking at. But like the career fair is common for both the job types. Yes, I mean we have two more rounds typically as compared to what rounds we have in internship. Internship it would be somewhere around 3 to 4 rounds, but for full time it should be like 5 to 6 months. So first stage would be a phone interview where HR will call and they ask basic details, and they'll see why you applied for this position initially, and because like out of 100 candidates they will typically screen out half of them in the first round itself. After the HR goes through this, they give it to the hiring manager, and then hiring manager will call and decide whether you will get a offer or not. So he'll ideally interview you initially. In the next round, there will be a panelist of four people, and then that panel will include the hiring manager, but the hiring manager will take the views of other three people as well. So that would be the typical setup of how rounds progress. And every time we progress in one round, it gets a lot difficult because here in my internship job experience, what I've seen is that, of course, people who are veterans, etc., gain a lot more advantage than us because we don't have any military experience. So all these things are plus the nationality will play an important role as we progress till the final round. It's a no-brainer, and they have always been getting a higher hand. But apart from that, there are a lot of companies who come to hire just international. So there's a company called GEP, which is into supply chain consulting. And while like the students who visited their office during the interviews, they saw literally 90% of the workforce who was Indian. So it all depends from companies to companies, but international students do not have as good advantage as what citizens have here. That is one thing which freshers typically find it difficult after coming here. So with regards to my experience, I have applied jobs for the roles which I have had previously. So I used to get a lot of calls where it matches my previous role. Plus, if you have experience, then things are very easier. Since you will be in a management course in Granite, they expect you to have at least 3-4 years of work experience. And having said that, as I mentioned, that 7 to 8 people got internships. Out of that, 1 or 2 of them did not have prior work experience. So it all depends on how you present yourself and how your approach is. For supply chain, it should be $80,000 to $85,000, and basically for like minimum, you should be 60,000 or 65,000, I think, for the H1B. So from there, you start the base salary, and then it averages around $80,000 in general, irrespective of the location.